Okay, so so you don't have any other questions and pivots, but you have to practice it a lot. Practice makes perfect. So the pivot that I taught you was candlestick pivots. That wherever you see a candlestick with a long upper shadow, that's a pivot. And now the next is the body pivot. For example, right here, where the price has been opened or closed. You see that in here? Yes. What is that? That is I found it a while ago myself. I don't know what time frame this is, but I found it recently. And whenever you see you asked me a question that if I was buying here and the price was declining, I was expecting the price to retrace here. But what happened? The price declined more and more, and when it reached here, it start it retraces. So you think that the pivot has been broken, and yes, it has been broken, but what pivot has stopped it? It's the body pivot that has stopped it. You see, when you have a pivot in your trend, the pivot that, for example, a candlestick pivot, when it breaks, you have to pay attention to see if the body pivot retraces it or not. You see, in body pivots, the price reaches and touches the pivot point, but maybe in candlestick pivots, that doesn't happen. Maybe it retraces before touching the pivot point, but in body pivots, that's different, and the price touches the point. So you mean that it goes further than the shadow and it touches the body pivot? Yes. It's the body that retraces it, but not all of the bodies. Did you understand this? Yes. Ms. Sharifi, did you understand this? Yes. Yes, it touches the body. Yes, it touches the candle. If you see that it goes further than this, you can be sure that it has broken it. You say, if the price comes down here, that means that it has gone further than the body of the candle. So that means that it has broken it. So you mean the candle has to be completed for this, right? No, it's not necessary. You see, this is a very easy matter, but it's not easy to find. It's easy to see. You see, if it comes just a bit further than the candle itself, it's going to come down to the next pivot. But if it can't do that, you see, you have to identify this for yourself. If it can't go further than the body of the candle, it's going to retrace and start an upward movement to here. So excuse me, we can do two things. You see, in the on the red line that you have drawn, we can put a sell stop, and if it goes further than that, no, you see, don't put a sell stop here, so that your price can widen and the wideness of the price opens it. Try to be online when this happens, and even if you want to put a sell stop here, try to put it around here. So we should put it lower so that there's a distance here, so we can make sure that it breaks it completely. Yes, exactly. So did you understand this? Are there any problems, Ms. Sadaqi, are there any problems? No. Okay, so excuse me. For example, doesn't it make any difference that if the shadow is tall or no, not? Should we pay attention to this or not? So that goes back to the candlestick subject, and I should teach you that. Did you understand this now? Yes. Okay, so what candle is this? What candle this pivot goes back to? You see, we have body pivots in all of these candles. But the pivot that we can rely on is the candles that are on the swing high or swing lows, because there are not body pivots in the trend. It has to happen on swing highs or lows. The tides that have swing highs. Can you hear me? Yes. So you see, for example, where should we identify the body pivot? Here and here, and also this one. Also this. Why did you identify the swing low, the lowest point? I will tell you later. So this point and also this. You see, whenever we have a V shape, a big V shape, you see, why did I identify this? Because we have a V shape here. But they're not the same. No, I've just highlighted the zone. I haven't highlighted the pivot yet. I'm just saying that what shapes we can find the pivots in. Not, this is not the pivot that I've highlighted, just the zone. You see, for example, in this zone we don't have a pivot, a body pivot. Or in here, we don't have a pivot here too. Or excuse me, the reason why we don't have pivots on those zones is because the shadow has formed a pivot, but not the body of the candle, right? Because the body of the candle is in the trend. Yes, exactly. You see, Miss Sharifi, whenever you see this trend, this part of it, the swing low, is pivot, but not in in this zone because it's very small. It's not a swing high. In its own zone, it has to be a swing high or low. Like this, you see? This is a swing high. It's on a higher point than the rest of the trend. You see, the sides of it, it's higher, taller than the sides of it. And this one is lower than the sides of it, the side trends that are next to it. Excuse me. So we should consider the major pivots. Yes, but try not to say the term that is used in the book.